You still got a few more seconds left. Do you want to take that, or you'd like to give up those seconds? 25 seconds you've got.
The rules do not say that we must exhaust.
No, they don't.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, thank you so much for the opening statements. I think it's time to start a conversation. And I'd like to be the first one to open with a question. You're all very distinguished men, and you all have very worthy running mates. But can I ask, and I'd like Pastor Bakari to be the first person to take a stab at this question, shouldn't a Southerner be the next president of Nigeria?
Personally, any Nigerian from whatsoever sector of the country, south, east, west, north, has a constitutional right to aspire to the highest office in the land. So your question operates in an environment of mediocrity, where we divide the nation not along competence or what an individual can deliver, but divide it along the north-south dichotomy, which is the primary problem of the zoning agents. As far as we are concerned, in the CPC, only the best and the brightest is good enough for our country, regardless of where they come from.
When you talk like that, though, aren't you ignoring the realities of Nigeria and the fact that actually these divisions are real and they exist? And in order for some sort of balance, you must actually take into account these sensibilities.
Well, it's not wrong, because part of our federal constitution, as amended, talks about federal character. That is supposed to take care of such things. The truth of the matter is, the contest in 2011, we settled these issues, because the 2011 contest is not just between PDP and other parties, it's between honest men and dishonest men, between competent men and incompetent men, between clueless men and those who have ideas on how a nation should be properly governed. And honestly, it's out of courtesy and respect that I'm still standing here, because Nigerians are being abused on a daily basis, and we are not going to be part of culture of impunity. We draw the line from tonight that those who do not know how to serve the public should get out of public sector.
Chief Oyegu, are you in complete agreement with what Pastor Bakari said, or you see it slightly differently?
I am in basic agreement. One, competence is critical. We want people who are competent, people who are incorruptible, to be the ones that I hope the Nigerian public will select to govern them. But, like you very rightly said, and that is very correct, we must be aware of the peculiarities of our nation. As a matter of fact, it is not a Nigerian phenomenon that you have to balance out to ensure the survival of the country. In Britain, you have the Welsh, you have the English, you have the Scots. You have to do the basic balancing. In America, it is either the agricultural belt or the industrial belt or the progressive north versus the more conservative south. You also have to do the balancing. So we should not be ashamed in this country. We must never be apologetic for it. To say that we want everybody in this nation. And thank God, at this point in time, we have competent people from virtually every nook and cranny of this nation. So we should not be ashamed to accept that for us to survive as a nation, we need to make sure that all groups in this nation feel that sense of belonging. I absolutely subscribe to that. So some degree of balancing, whatever you call it, whether you call it federal character, whether you call it north-south, whether you call it zoning arrangement, some degree of balancing is mandatory if we are to maintain the corporate existence of this country. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, sir. Mr. Adiola, whether by accident or design, ACN has found itself actually putting forward a northern candidate with you as a southerner as a running mate. And obviously this is an arrangement that the PDP as a party has talked about in terms of zoning, and it caused a lot of fracas. Is this something the ACN is taking into consideration in sort of putting out candidates, or was it something that was purely based on merit?
The country is like a patient in an emergency ward. It requires immediate surgery. And what the ACN has done is to say to itself, of all the candidates before it, which will be the best surgeon under the circumstances? Those were the issues that faced them at the time they elected Malam Nuhu Ribadu, a forthright man of integrity, to lead the ticket. And it was up to Malam Nuhu Ribadu, in consultation with the elders of the party, that decided that he will invite me onto the ticket as his running mate. What is most important to ACN today, and Malam Nuhu Ribadu, with whom I'm running, is what is necessary to be done for Nigeria today. In luxury, there is hardly anything you cannot afford. I accept totally the picture painted by my friend Pastor Bakari about the state of affairs of Nigeria. This is not the time. It doesn't afford us the luxury of petting ourselves. There may not be the Nigeria that we are petting ourselves for in the near future. So we have taken the position that let the best people go forward, solve the problems of the country, get it back on course, and let's begin our journey. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, in the name of God, the issues of religion, Christians and Muslims in Nigeria.